Surging Sparks brings few competitive staples, but a lot of really cool cards for niche decks. We're going to start with 4 copies of Charcadet and 3 copies of Cerulege GX, kind of the premier, very aggressive deck. Fairly straightforward, you just kind of dump energy in your discard and use Abyssal Flames to one-shot Pokemon. 1 copy of Qian Pao, whose Snow Sync ability lets you, especially if you're using an Area 0 Underdepths, enables you to fill out your bench greater than 5 and play Qian Pao, and use the removal of the Area 0 to remove any damaged liabilities on your bench away from play. We're picking up 2 copies of Pikachu EX. It's fairly frail, but 300 damage is nothing to shy away from. 2 copies of Magnemite and 2 copies of Magneton, whose Overvolt Discharge knocks itself out, but provides a huge burst of acceleration for lightning types. We're picking up a 1/1 line of Togepi and Togekiss. This is for decks that want to have a chance at accelerating the prize race with Wonderkiss. Smoochum is an interesting choice, whose free attack lets us accelerate 2 Psychic Energy to our Pokemon. We're picking up 2 staples in 2 copies of Latias EX here, whose Skyliner ability means that our basic Pokemon will have no retreat cost. We'll also pick up a copy of Sylveon EX. This will come with the rest of the EV's next set in Prismatic Evolution. This will just be part of the toolbox. 1 copy of Annihilate used in Slowking decks for the destined fight against Mega Pokemon. 2 copies of Dano, 1 copy of Zweilous, and 2 copies of Hydreigon EX. This is one of the most powerful Terras, but its restrictive attack cost on Obsidian means that it's been pretty hard to set up, relegating it to rogue deck territory. However, with the introduction of Rose's Encouragement in perfect order, maybe this will see a resurgence, because hitting 130 on 3 different Pokemon is still incredibly powerful. 3 copies of Eevee Boosted Evolution from this set. This will synergize with the Eevee pieces we're going to pick up later. 1 copy of Bouffalant. It's being seen alongside the Curly Wall Bouffalant in order to just have another attacker. For trainers, we're going to pick up 4 copies of Serrano, searching for up to 3 Pokemon EX. Without Nest Ball in the format anymore, this is one of our best Pokemon search options, especially in big basic decks. 3 copies of Drayton. Again, this is one of those cards that is kind of seeing play alongside Lilies and other draw cards in order to find specific pieces for decks to set up. 2 copies of Gravity Mountain to counter stage 2s. 2 copies of Lively Stadium to have our basic Pokemon be a little bigger because we don't have Bravery Charm anymore. 1 copy of Miracle Headset, kind of one of the funniest aspects, but we're going to have it see play in Team Rocket's Honchkrow decks. 1 copy of Precious Trolley, really instrumental card for big basic decks in order to get out a bunch of Pokemon early. It's even more important in the post-rotation format, as we don't have Nest Balls in order to kind of replicate that same effect. 2 copies of Surfer, seeing niche use as both a bit of a draw and a bit of a switch. 2 copies of Terra Orb for Terra heavy decks in order to replace those Nest Balls for search. And 1 copy of Enriching Energy, which is seeing play in decks like Alakazam in order to draw additional cards and also be put on a Dunsparce so that it can be shuffled back into the deck to be used again and again.